I've gone live now. Sorry.
You're live?
I'm
Okay.
going. It's going.
Yeah, it's on. You're on live.
Yeah, it's saying it's going from my end.
And then I'll send it to everybody.
Yeah, let me copy the link and I'll text it to you. I'll WhatsApp to you.
Rosie, we can't see your video.
So hold on, let me turn my car speaker off.
Shahid, I've sent you the link. And I'm going to YouTube and I say start live. Go live. So I've gone live.
Hey, Nila.
Hey, Manny. Just a minute. I'm just setting up. Shahid, are we live on? Okay, let me go to
Says
my.
it's live on YouTube.
Yeah, that's what I'm just checking. If we're live there. Yep, we are live.
Hey,
Okay.
Rosie.
Hey, Manny, I can see.
Hey, Manny.
I need to put a picture, right?
Yeah, and my picture is coming like a ghost. So if I put a picture, I look like a ghost.
Okay. I want to put a nice picture.
Okay.
Manny looks good. You look professional.
My Zoom is looking fine. Why?
You
Why
look
are you
fine.
looking the other way?
Me?
No, me. I was looking the other way. I don't know why.
Can you see my Machu Pikachu?
Yeah, I can see your Machu Pikachu.
Pikachu.
Perfect. So, guys, you guys are all set. Where are your props? I see. Rosie, I can see yours. Manny, where is yours?
I have a headband. I'll wear that.
I thought you were showing us your coat as well.
Yeah, I can show it. I can bring it. Let me do this quickly.
Okay.
Um,
Hey guys, just tell me one thing. My face is straight to the camera or is it sideways? Every time I look at the YouTube thing, I see my face sideways. Why is that?
No, you look fine.
Okay, cool. If you say so.
Your background, they got too many little bottles.
I know. So we are all ready for a drink.
I know.
While we wait for everybody to tune in, I think we'll give 2 more minutes and we'll see. I only see 2 people watching, so probably it's us. I should have done this on the hike. I know. We should have been hiking and doing this show.
Definitely.
I'll have to figure out a better background for myself. Okay, I think I should have my questionnaire. Where the hell is my question? I have no questions for you guys. That's good.
Oh.
okay.
So we give about a minute more. And
Hold on a second. I'm kind of getting confused. How do you change your screen? I thought there was
from the place where you see participants, there's a stop video button. On the video button, there's an arrow. So go on to that and it will show you a background option.
share screen, reaction, participant, chat.
No, go to your video button where you switch on the
Oh,
camera.
yeah.
Yeah, on that. Got it?
So background recording. Okay, I'm still lost. I'm sorry. I thought there was a easier way to share on this one.
So you
So
add your background, show your, change your background there. Can't you do that?
यार पहले किया हुआ है मैंने, मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा क्यों नहीं दिखा रहा ये फोटो. Maybe they upgraded it up to a point.
Okay. Shahid is publicizing it now everywhere.
Right now.
Yep, I can see it is going on all the groups. He's sharing the link. So we are on. I think we're anyways live. Manny, can you, if you can't change, it's okay. We'll have only Rosie's background.
I'm working on it. Give me a few seconds.
Okay.
I'm in Cusco mode.
Yeah, can you guys see it
I
now?
know she's
Oh
totally
yeah, I see you
perfect.
now.
So you guys are in Peru mode. I'm the only one who's sitting here.
I'm in Machu Picchu
Drink.
now.
You should
Okay, so
change
let
it.
me get my
Okay,
jacket
I
from
think.
upstairs.
Yep. So while Manny comes in, I think welcome everybody who's watching and who would be watching it later. So we are starting a new travel show, and this is our first episode. So we'll have, I'm sure, we'll have a
Yay.
lot of glitches and hiccups, but we'll go through that as we do this show. And today we have two very interesting guests with us, and we are going to showcase Peru. So I guess Peru is probably in every traveler's bucket list. But then how
Indeed.
you do Peru is very different. Like some people would, take the train, go, look left, right, come back and say, I've done Peru. And there'll be some folks like Rosie who would actually rough it out and, go huffing, puffing all the way up to the mountain and say, yeah, I've done it. So we have all kinds of travelers. What we'll try and cover is, everybody's view and how they go about doing it. So this is going to be a lot of fun, and do, post your comments, post in, whatever more you want to know about this show. We'll try and cover whatever we can. So today we have Rosie and Manny with us from our group, and they've both done Peru. And we have a lot of questions for them. We are actually holding on and waiting for that. So I think Rosie, the first thing I feel like asking you, why Peru? Why did you choose Peru of all the places?
So Peru is actually a stopover. Because originally the ultimate goal is to go to Easter Island. So I happen to have a few friends and freshly divorced, and we decided to go to Easter Island right before the New Year so we can start off fresh in the southmost remote island. And then we had a stopover Peru. We're like, okay, Machu Picchu then. So that's why
Okay,
we decided to go to Peru.
interesting. And we have our other guest, Manny. So Manny, why did you choose Peru of all the places?
So for me, it's because I'm a history buff and I'm more interested in archaeology. And for me, one of the vacation motivation is to go explore all these historical sites. That was one motivation. Second thing is I'm trying to cover the continents in the world. So that was another reason to do that. Since I've been to Europe and of course I'm in North America. So of course, South America was the next destination. So I said, okay, that'll something put a point on my passport that I've been to South American continent. So that was second reason to go. I've read a lot about Machu Picchu and of course the civilizations over there and Inca civilization. That was part of my history work and my.
I think that's something always charmed me. I think since I was a kid, I'm like, okay, Inca.
Yeah, Mayans
Yeah.
and Incas, and of course that was something I wanted to explore on my own. So those were my motivations. Yeah.
Okay. I think history is something which a lot of people get drawn to in the Inca. And it's always, good, like if you travel somewhere, to read up a couple of travel logs, read up about the history of the place, read up about the culture, the people, who are you going to meet. That's always a good fun prep to do. And I definitely do it. I'm sure a lot of people does that, read about local people and stuff. That's very interesting. Or at least grab a Lonely Planet, maybe go through that. or at least do, rough guides, so you will get a feel of that place. Like if you want to do more informal, go rough guides. If you want to be still a bit more reading on the content, maybe Lonely Planet. Both are equally good. So I think, coming back, maybe Rosie and, Manny, both of you, I would ask you similar questions. Like, how did you go about planning? So maybe Rosie, I want to start with you. Can you talk about more in terms of the, like, did you really pre-plan it? Like how long before did you start planning? How did you go about the planning part of it?
So I started planning 3 months ago, 3 months before my trip. So we kind of just, started. So we didn't really, so we did want to go to Lima, of course, and then we want to go to Machu Picchu for the Peru trip. So we didn't really stop at Lima. So we kind of lay over Lima and then fly straight to Cusco and then go to Machu Picchu that way, and then come back and then come back at Lima for the later of the trip.
Okay, so
Yeah,
basically, if I understand you, at least we need a 3-month headway is what you're trying to tell us. Like we
you
had to.
need a few. Yeah, because Machu Picchu, for example, is really hard to book. It books out quickly. They have limited amount of people can get in every day. So I understand at our peak season is about 200 people in the daytime, morning, and 200 in the afternoon. So if it's booked out, then you cannot get in.
Okay.
Yes.
So, Manny, did you also have a similar experience? And I also wanted you to kind of tell us a little bit about visa and what other, like pre-requirements did we have?
So me and my friend, I didn't do this trip solo. So me and my friend, we planned it around August, September timeline. We went through Indus Travel. So it was a 10-day guided trip and everything was planned, and all the activities on the trip was pre-planned, and we knew like what day and where we are going and what we are doing. Since it was a guided tour, so we did have because of the language issue, we did have a local person who was accompanying us for the trip. So that was something that we wanted. So we looked for those things. Visa, because I'm a US citizen, so that was something that was not required. Like I looked upon the websites and the website for Peru and saw that there is no visa requirement for US citizens. So it was good. My friend who is a US, she had a green card holder, so she had to get her visa done. So she got that done from Houston. She lives in Houston. So she flew in from Houston. I flew in from San Francisco, and our flights were coordinated in a way that we were only like 45 minutes to an hour apart. And of course, the travel agency had a local guide. So they came, picked up from took us to the hotel. What was the other question you asked me?
So, no, I was just trying to understand this part because a lot of people have questions around visa. And I think the challenge they face is Peruvian embassy does not have too many, offices around US. So there might be, certain location constraints as well. So I think people who are planning need to be, probably Bay Area, we are fine. But if you're beyond Bay Area, that might be a problem. Like you
Yeah,
need to.
even I think Houston had a embassy. So my friend who lived in Houston, she went, and she of course had to follow the protocols that the
Yeah.
embassy had, and she got her visa done from there.
Okay. And coming to like the seasons, when did you travel? Like you said in October?
No,
Or
we went in December for 10 days.
so is that like a winter
I did
or a
December as
mild?
well.
But it'll be like a kind of winter for them?
It's so like we went to different places. That's another thing that happened. Me and my friend, we were very curious about Amazon, so we went to Peru side of Amazon jungles. We did like 3 days over there. It's an off the grid lodge that we had to stay in. So it was really rainy and summery over that part of the area. Lima was pretty warm. We were there for 2 days in Lima, and then Cusco was, because of the elevation, it was pretty cold. So Lima was cold, and of course, if you see the background, this is from Machu Picchu.
Yeah.
The day I went, I was very miserable. It was like raining and foggy. So that was something I didn't like. I thought it'd be sunny because I've seen most of the pictures are sunny and bright and everything. So that's what I was imagining and envisioning. And of course, that didn't pan out the way we planned. So it was
I know,
cold.
and if you go to an equatorial region, you would expect the temperatures and everything to be like, it's almost similar and not very cold.
Yeah.
So, Rosie, how was your experience during that time? Which
So
weather
I
did
actually
you go
I went in December too. So I
in?
actually went there in Christmas.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah, we were
understand it's
there
their
for Christmas
summer.
too. Yeah.
It is their summertime,
So
but
you
it's
guys
not
both
that.
went at the same time? Don't tell me.
Yeah.
For the,
We
yeah,
probably crossed paths somewhere, somehow.
mine was in December 2017,
I didn't
and
just see Rosie up on the
I
mountain
was
of
18. I was
having
a year
nothing else.
later.
on the Christmas day, we were actually fishing in Amazon, and it was a lodge, right? So we were off the grid. There was no
Oh,
electricity,
wow.
no hot
That's
water,
interesting.
Oh,
no
wow.
cell phone, and no TV. They didn't have any TV, so we were actually, there were a lot of German groups who were visiting the lodge. So me and my friend, we were of course having a nice dinner that they had planned on the Christmas Eve, and the fish we caught, so we had that for dinner.
So Manny, did you have 10 days the Peru trip, like all over in Peru with a guide?
Yeah. So we did Amazon, we did Lima, we went to Cusco, and then we went to Lake Titicaca. And that was like an amazing experience too. Like we had a whole day bus trip from Lima to go to Lake Titicaca, and it was an amazing experience that itself. Like, you know, you can get to see all the rural areas and the places that you can see during the other trips. Yeah.
Lake Titicaca is really, really beautiful. It's very well talked about, and it's like amazing place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Rosie, where all did you land up in Peru?
So first I flew into Lima, and I didn't leave the airport. I kind of met my friends. They met me, one from Chicago, one from Shanghai. So we met in Lima, and then straight away we fly to Cusco, because we heard because of the high altitude. So Lima is in the sea level, so Cusco is about 3,400 meters high. So when you land in Cusco, people usually have a high altitude sickness. So usually people take 1 or 2 days in Cusco, and then they head to Machu Picchu. So Machu Picchu is actually slightly lower than Cusco. So you need 2 days to get over the, get used to the high altitude, and then you go to Cusco. So that's what we did.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yes. So from
So,
Cusco, you go
tell
to
us about some fun stuff that you did there, Rosie. So I know Machu
fun
Picchu
stuff.
hikes, but what was the best funny thing that you did?
So we went there in Christmas, and so we actually landed in Cusco right at the Christmas Eve. So we booked a fancy dinner, and we had a Western style dinner. And then second day we're still in town, so we decided to crash some local famous restaurant. And we were so lucky, we got into this potluck, like the all you can eat style,
Oh,
but
not.
mainly for the local people. So we tried maybe like a 15 different kinds of local beans and potatoes.
And how
And
did you guys land up there? Like you got invited? Like you crashed in?
so we went to, so this is a really famous restaurant, and normally, like I was thinking by Christmas time everybody's closed, right? So this place was open, and then we went inside. They were like, you want to do the order, or you want to do the all you can eat?
Oh,
And he's like, today is a special day, why don't you just join us? It's a party. So we're like, okay, let's do it. So we paid about $15 US, and
really?
then we ate a lot of Peruvian food.
And then
And
were you hiking the next day?
yeah, we did. So we also, so the thing is, people from Cusco, they don't usually go straight to hiking. So they also go to a small town right before Machu Picchu. It's called the Agua Calientes. It's a small town. It's like a gateway to Machu Picchu. So people take the train from Cusco to Agua Caliente for one. They usually stop there for one night, because it takes 3 hours.
Yourself because of the altitude.
Yeah, you get ready because you want to leave your hotel early in the morning for Machu Picchu. So
Okay.
it's about 3 hours train from Cusco to Agua Caliente.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So,
So we're okay.
So if I were to, I think let's share some of your pictures. Maybe that might be interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's pause for a minute and let's look at some of Rosie's pictures, and we can talk more about the hike, and then we'll come back. And I know Manny also has a couple of interesting things, and I loved the Amazon pictures that she had, but it's really nice. I think it'll be interesting to show people, some of those photos.
I really want to go to Amazon. The
So
rainforest is my next
let me
destination.
bring up some of the pictures up. Wait. Oops. Yep. And
Yay.
can you guys see my screen well? I hope
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
So I have this.
Nice.
So this is the top of Machu Picchu. It's a Montana Machu Picchu.
I know. So
Yeah.
Rosie, tell us about the hike. Like, I have a few more of your pictures from the hike for people.
Yeah, the hike is
Tell us,
bad.
like, how was it like after you woke up next morning? Like you did a break one day and then you woke up, right?
Yeah, that's like kind of destroyed me for a whole week. So because first of all, you have high altitude sickness, and
Mm-hmm.
every step, and you kind of really hard to breathe. So yes, you can see Machu Picchu, the ruin is kind of in the very low level, so the bus kind of stops right there.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see the sign, I hold the sign Montana Machu Picchu is actually the peak of the mountain behind the Machu Picchu site. So that's quite a bit of hike. Took us about 4 hours back and forth. It's
Yep.
just really difficult hike.
Fun, right?
Yeah, it's very difficult. And also we went there during the rainy season.
And how long
Um,
is that? Like, is it a mile long or 2, 3 miles? How long is it?
I don't remember exactly how long. So it's about, I heard it's about 15,000 feet high.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's about 4.5 hours back and forth. The thing about it is it's
Yeah,
really rocky.
Cusco is about 13,000 some feet, and Machu Picchu is about 12,000 some feet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's about 3,000 4,000 feet high.
Mhm.
Okay. But that's
It's
pretty.
just really uneven. It's uneven. There's no really paved road, so you have to kind of climb with your force. So it's difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like, I see a lot of rocks and
Yeah.
steps and
It
stones
takes
and
about 3 days to hike, and I know we didn't do the hike. We did the train and this thing.
So you're talking about the 3 day is the Inca Trail hike.
yeah, the
So
full
Yeah.
hike. Yeah.
yeah,
See,
the
I
full
think
hike.
you did the mountain hike. Yeah.
I
You
only did
did.
the mountain hike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Inca hike is even longer, and I think a lot of people do that, but that's a pretty tough one. It's about, I
Hmm.
think, 24 miles or something. Like it's pretty long. It's not easy. And then the terrain, and it's a lot of rainforest. There's a lot of trail up and down. So I've seen a lot of people do it the other way around. Like they might take the train up, and then people would actually hike down instead of hiking up. But then if you're not used to hiking and not hiking in these kind of weather, I think it's recommended that you just do the mountain hike what Rosie did. Even that is very grueling. I think even
It is
that,
very,
could
very,
that
yeah.
could kill you
Because
as well.
so like I told you, I booked 3 months ago, and so there are two mountain treks, right? The trails. So the shorter one was sold out. So the first one was like half the hike.
Mhm.
It was completely sold out. So we had no choice. We had to go the harder one, and it's
Okay.
really difficult. If I knew it was this hard, I'd choose the easier one.
So I think coming back to you, Manny, I remember, you had interesting stories about, you spoke about the lake. And so for you, you went till the mountains, and then did you go up, or how did you spend your time there in the Incas? Like you walked around the monuments, then you came out?
Yeah, we had a guided tour. So the first thing was, of course, we had to take a bus,
Mhm.
train, and a bus again to go up to the actual place. And of course, they stamp your passport. You have to bring your passport to enter the Machu Picchu. So you get a stamp on your passport, and then of course you can hike around. So within the area that they have, the Machu Picchu trail or whatever, you do have to hike up to a certain point to look at the area and see how it is. And of course, there is a vantage point you can hike up to.
Mhm.
And then they took us around the whole monument. And there are different areas. Of course, we had a guided tour. So he was explaining, there were like 8 or 9 people with us. So they were explaining the history and the culture and, of course, the wildlife over there. And of course, they allowed us to take pictures. Um, and then by the time it took about 3 to 4 hours for the tour, and it was raining. So he asked us, do we want to stay back? And I was so miserable. I said, no, I'm really done with this place right now. So we had a
Did you get wet actually? You didn't carry like
we had our rain ponchos. We ended up buying rain ponchos, and of course we had that, and then we had a jacket on top because it was cold and it was raining.
Where did you find a rain poncho? Like down before you went up on the trail, or was
The
it?
tour guide had some, so he was carrying it. We ended up buying it for like cost of like $5.
So that's a note for people. Anybody going to Machu Picchu, December, rainy season.
Yeah, take your rain
carry
gear.
your
Like
rain
we did
gear.
have the rain jacket, the whatever the jacket that you have.
The Gore-Tex, yeah.
But
it's definitely
yeah,
recommended.
yeah,
It's not safe to hold the umbrella, especially if you're gonna climb.
You'll
That
fly.
is,
yeah.
yeah.
Plus
You're
your
gonna
shoes
really.
also. That's one of the things I made a mistake on. My shoes were not all that grippy. It was like, for whatever reason, I was wearing my regular boots.
No.
I was trying to think I was gonna go and style and profile over there, and I was all thought like most of the people were wearing their sneakers or their trail shoes. So recommendation is to wear very comfortable trail shoes, because you end up
hiking shoes, I think.
a lot of uneven space and all that, and it does get muddy in certain areas when it rains.
So waterproof shoes, raincoats, muddy. People should be well prepared. I think Machu Picchu hike, you need poles probably to hold yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you need your hiking
definitely
poles.
Sure. And you need to bring enough water, because there's absolutely no water inside the site. So after you get in, there's no shop at all. So you need to bring as much as you can carry.
Yeah. So I carried a backpack, so I had all that, and of course we had a guided tour and a bus. So the bus also had additional water. We did, after doing the tour, I think it took us about 4 hours to do the actual tour, and our train was not till like 5 p.m. in the afternoon. So they left us in a restaurant. We had an actual lunch. They covered the guided tour had covered our lunch, so we went for a nice lunch within that area. I don't know where the train starts from. So
I'm going to pull up some of your photos now.
Yeah,
and maybe we can talk about a bit.
The train is really beautiful. Like it's a train with a roof, so you can see the surroundings. They served us with the breakfast, and then of course it was a very memorable trip, like taking the train and all that.
So I think I did pull up your Lake Titicaca, right?
Yeah, this is all Lake Titicaca. The painting that I have, I bought this handmade thing. It's all very colorful, and it's from Lake Titicaca.
Oh, this I thought was a needlework, because I thought you had
interest. It is needlework.
Oh.
Yeah, it's all
because
needlework.
I know you have a lot of interest in needlework. I've seen some of your posts. So I thought probably, that's the reason you went and chose this.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about this boat. It looks very interesting. What is the head like? It's a cat?
It's this is a special indigenous tribe and of course they're all Indian, quote unquote, I forget the name of that particular tribe, but they have been there for generations. And the boat that you're looking at, it's made of those, those water, I don't remember the, when you, these water grass that grows and they cut it, there's a specific name for it. So they usually make islands out of that. They have floating islands. So
these are those trees which are like, they float
on the water.
It floats on the water. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And the islands, they make that land thing, and then they'll build their living quarters on it. And the boat is made of that. And so that's what the boat is made of. I'm not able to recall what exactly the thing is called, but and of course they had this, on the top there were a lot of tourists. So, and they were singing when there is a video also I took. The way they sing. What I found interesting was a lot of similarities with our Indian culture. Like if you go towards, Kutch or Gujarat. The dressing they had, like, how in India we have these parandi and that they tie in the hair, the ribbon that they tie in the hair. They do the hairs like that, and they wear a skirt, which of course in our culture we call it ghagra or whatever, and the blouse itself, it's very, very similar to Kutch Gujarati culture.
Okay, interesting. And what are these tiles that I see on the floor? Like these are some.
So this was in Cusco. There is a specific area within the market area. If you go, there is a lot of artwork that they have in a certain main street market that you can go and explore. So each painting or the tile work is different. And I'm very, very focused on art. So that's one of the things I do is collect a lot of these pictures. And that's what I took. It's really, they're made of course, engraved I guess the granite and all that kind of stuff, but it looked really beautiful. And it's a paved road in the middle of the market, and both sides have shops and restaurants, and that's where you can take these pictures.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And I think, Rosie, you did talk about something very interesting, because I remember you talking about where you went to watch the sea lions and you guys were actually floating in the water.
Yeah.
And then you also spoke about a very interesting nightlife where you did get to try your hands with dancing. So I couldn't get the video up for you, but I'll definitely have some of those pictures. So let me, share my screen and you can talk about some of those interesting stuff. So I think the picture that you see here on the, top left-hand corner
right.
is what Rosie's going to.
Yeah, so we decided to go for a day trip. It's called Swim with the Sea Lions. And so this is in Lima. So this island is about 1 hour by the sea to this small island. And I thought it was just a Mexican style. You swim with like 2 sea lions in a swimming pool, that kind of thing, right? But the second we arrived there, like we parked about with the ship docked about 100 meters away from the sea lions, and then we saw this island full of sea lions. Probably have like a 500, if not
So this was
1,000
like
sea lions.
Pacific Sea you jumped into?
Yeah, it's
So was
it's
the water cold? Or
it's the ocean. It's in the middle of the ocean, and there's a small island. It's just a small rock with hundreds of sea lions. It's wild sea lions.
And it's
So you're
because of the
literally
equatorial region, the water wasn't cold.
Wasn't, yeah. It was kind of cold, so we had to wear the wetsuit. And so it's wild and it's not trained or anything, so it's really shocking. So the sea lions were really loud, and then the second we saw them, we were screaming because you were that close to them. You're like a face to face with hundreds of sea lions. So we stopped there for 30 minutes, and it was the wildest experience in my life. It's shocking. It's
That's
so much fun. Yeah,
I would love to do
it's
that.
kind of dangerous, but it's really worth it. I would so do it again.
So what was this island again? I think people should make a note of this.
It's called the Pomerano or something. We will include in the hike. We'll include in the blog.
Okay.
It's
cool.
some Spanish name I can't remember.
Okay, great. And I see another aerial view over here. So this
yeah. So this is the most classic view of Lima. It's a Lima cliff. So there's this really luxury shopping mall built right on the sea cliff. It's called the Miraflores. It's the most famous district in Lima, and full of restaurants and bar and luxury shopping. So it's right on the cliff when you can actually stand there, and then we watch the beautiful sunset over there. It's incredible.
Okay, interesting. And I also see your dance and nightlife photographs. So Rosie, tell us about the nightlife there. What fun did you have?
So my friend and I are crazy salsa fans, and we're learning salsa. So we figured the best way to learn salsa is in South America. And so we found this place. It's called La Casa de la Salsa, means the home of salsa. And it's a local club, and we were the only 2 Chinese people in that club. It was so funny. And it was the Christmas time, so they hired the professional photographer to take picture, and we were on their local news. Like, 2 Chinese crashing the local dance party. It was so much fun, and they had their local superstar, and the way they party is like you give them the cell phone on the stage, and then they selfie themselves dancing, taking video of them, and then they selfie you. It's so funny. We had the best night ever.
That's good. I think people who are planning to go to, Peru, they should roll over Christmas. Maybe, it's a lot of fun. It seems like that.
And you make sure you bring the passport, because we didn't get the passport. We had to bribe the owner of the restaurant to get us in. So no matter who you are, it doesn't matter. You look 100 years old, you need a passport. They check ID.
I know. Like every country, I think ID check is a must, especially in clubs and bars. Even in US,
Yeah,
they do that over here also.
yeah. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, true. So, Rosie, did you experience, any of the nightlife? Did you get a chance to
Me?
hop around a couple of bars?
For me, no, we actually didn't. Me and my friend, we are more of kind of, we were dawn to dusk. That's what we were doing. And we were more afraid being on our own. That's, two girls in a foreign city. So we were actually venturing out when we had the guide. So we did a couple of walking tours during the evening time. We did one in Lima, we did one in Cusco. The joke on that one was like my friend, she was recovering from a certain health condition. So we went out in Cusco, and that walking tour, it was an hour and a half walking tour. And every single time we got to see the structure of the wall.
Mhm.
And then later we realized, like, was it even worth for it? Is it like, the greatness of the wall, like if it's surrounded Lima, Cusco is a very old city. And of course, it has, and I think different Inca rulers made different additions to the wall. That's what the great part is about. But we didn't need all that history lesson. That's what we realized. And we ended up walking at least like 5-6 miles just for that wall tour. And it was not very exciting. That was a funny part of it. But we did explore, like the nightlife that we explored was that the dinners that we had. We went a couple of restaurants in Cusco with the live music on. So that was one great fun thing to do. Like these music, I really like the music that they have, the kind of music they have. It's mostly infused music, Indian music, like in the sense like the
And it'll be a
tribal
lot of
music.
Spanish beat and
Yeah, tribal music,
very,
Spanish, and
yeah.
very, very
The
unique.
folk mixture, it comes out very well.
Yes, it's a very unique version. I've not heard that. So that was something very enjoyable. Yeah.
So, Rosie, did you dance to the local music as well, or was it like popular?
I did too, like I said, in that restaurant, right? So
Mhm.
after the dinner, they had a party, and then so they actually had a professional dancers to drag the customers into their party. So so I danced. I didn't even know it was not even salsa. But Cusco is very special. It's very beautiful. It's just really special town. I really love Cusco. It's got this Asian feel. It's quiet, peaceful. It's so beautiful. It's very special. I highly recommend Cusco.
Mm-hmm. I think everybody would love to go back there. So, Manny, coming back to you, I see another set of interesting photograph. I think I see some hornbill and some llamas. And I think associated to that, I guess, Manny, you also have a story of your shopping, what you ended up doing. So maybe I think we can talk a bit on that, and then I'll come back to you, Rosie, on your shopping. I know you had very exciting things to share.
So this was when we were at the llama picture that we have, right?
Yeah.
This is all part of the one-day trip that we have. The toucan is from the
Mhm.
Amazon jungle.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing. The toy shop that you have, that small picture with a lot of toys on it, that picture is from a Lima toy store.
Mm-hmm.
I regret I didn't buy it. I should have. I was looking at the sticker price, and it's a very unique thing. So they make these wooden toy boxes.
And they have one inside the other, right? You keep opening and it'll
No. This is like
not like the Chinese dolls.
So the size is about this big, and it everything in that toy shop is depiction of a market or a scene that they depict, and everything is handmade. And
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have seen that shop too. It's
Yeah.
so beautiful and
Yes.
it's so expensive. I'm afraid to break it
Right,
before I
but
get
you know,
home.
it's a very unique thing, and I love
Yeah.
collecting art. So this is something I regret I have that I didn't.
Me
Because it
too,
was
me too.
to
We need to go back.
$150.
You guys are coming back with me. I have 2 pro guides with me now to travel.
And the alpaca, that the picture so we did a day trip, which was I forget the site name. So they had that. It's a very well-known UNICEF heritage site. So we did that tour, and then of course they took us to the farm where they had these alpaca wool itself is very famous in Peru. So there is one alpaca is famous. You can buy a lot of woolen stuff. The other is vicuna, which is a very expensive affair. Like it's very expensive. So they actually had these.
I think I have more pictures for you.
Yeah. So I'll tell you a story about this bread also. So that's something that was hilarious.
Yep.
Let me finish about the story on the shopping thing. So one of the things I wanted to do was buy alpaca wool coat. That was something I had been to Australia, so I learned, and it's supposedly the best warm thing that you can buy. So I ended up, when I landed in Lima, I actually scouted the whole market for this whole coat that I was trying to get a deal because we thought we were in summer, so I'll get a good deal in Lima. I didn't get that. My friend was like, okay, you've done the whole scouting. You don't think you will find the price range you're looking for. And we went to Cusco. I did the same thing. I scouted the whole market looking for this coat and the number I had in my mind. She said she was so tired of me going on a hunt for this elusive coat for her. Then she said, you better buy and I'll pay for it.
I think we want to see your elusive coat now that we've heard all that.
No, but it's very warm. This is the coat.
Oh, wow. Where didn't show it to us?
Yeah. So this is like, and it's a dual coat. It doesn't have any lining. It is very soft. It's very warm. And I ended up buying it from Cusco. It was a
And
good
is the
price.
sticker they have on it, it's something to do with the tribal thing on
No,
that?
this is a
Maybe.
separate scarf. So they gave me the scarf. I spent a certain amount of money. They gave me the scarf for free.
Oh, not bad.
So yeah. And then like shopping wise, I did like, there was a major buy, and then I did like a lot of these small little souvenirs that I brought back. Like I have these carved elephant, they are stone carved. There's a lot of silver jewelry in the market you can buy. There were a lot of silver over there. They use a lot of silver, so I'm not really enthusiastic about the silver jewelry. So they that is there. This picture about the bread. So, and it's a very funny joke actually. The bread itself, like we were going from
They
Lima
look
to,
like donuts.
it's like a bread this big size. So
Oh, it's that big.
yeah, and it's made of sugar and a lot of cinnamon and brown sugar on it. So this particular bread was, it's called chuta.
That's Rosie for you. It's kind of slang.
So
Hindi.
he actually stopped the bus and he said, oh, we're going to eat the bread chuta. Me and my friend, we were like laughing nonstop.
So is it this one? Is it one bread? Is the whole stack is one bread?
No. It's a stack of breads, but it's this big in circumference, and it's sweet bread. And they usually eat it for on their festivals, any occasion that auspicious
Interesting.
occasions that they have in the family.
Kind of like donuts, a spin-off on donuts, probably.
Yeah, but it didn't have any sugary syrup. It had brown sugar and cinnamon, and of course it's baked, so they sprinkle that on the top. So it is sort of a fermented bread, but it's supposed to be good, like auspicious bread in their culture.
Interesting. And what's this painting on the other side, like on the side that I see here?
So again, this is again from the art shop. Like both of this picture, the toy shop and that one is from one store that the art itself is amazing. Like if I had carried, I would have carried. Like it was a
The
big
whole
canvas.
statue.
Yeah. So this is in Lima, and this statue itself, there is this park, and in this park they hold a kissing contest. It's near that area where you can see the whole coastline, that area, Miraflora. So the park is in there, and this particular statue, there is a certain day that they have this kissing contest, and a lot of people come and bring their, of course, beloveds and have this kissing contest. So I was amazed the size of the, like, of course,
So,
the
okay,
photograph.
folks who wants to go for a kissing trip can plan around the kissing contest time, and you can look out for that.
Yeah.
Rosie, did you get a chance?
No, I was traveling with 3 guys, but they're all my best friends. No chance.
No chance.
Too bad.
Yeah. And
So
then they,
I think coming back to this photograph on the side, I definitely want to hear about that. Like this stone arrangement looks interesting. So
yeah,
where was
this was again, yeah, this was on the way to Lake Titicaca. So we went to a certain, like, of course, this is all of these was Spanish Inquisitions, right? So we found a lot of Catholic churches and big churches where they have all these architecture, like it's an amazing black wood architecture, very ornate ceilings, carved ceilings. You get to see a lot of that. It's very rich. The churches at the time that, of course, Spanish were conquesting and conquering the world and bringing the money to build these churches. So you can see that in the architecture over there. And then itself, the churches over there are really amazing. The architecture and the gardens, it's very, very, like, it gives you that whole feel of what they were in their prime time.
I didn't see any photograph of churches much on your thing, so I couldn't, put up one for the people to have a look at it. But I'm sure, there'll
So
be.
behind my background is from the view inside of a church. So this is a view.
Yeah.
I stand in the middle of the church and look at the town. So you get a little idea.
Yeah,
It's
I know.
very royal.
It's very pretty. I think it's from the medieval ages, or which period is it? Like
It's 15th century, 16th century, when the whole so Incas, of course, they were the actual ruling class over there, the kings of the South Americas at the time, but it got taken over by the Spanish, and there was a war, civil war, of course, between Spanish and Dutch and Incas to take over certain parts of Peru. So you do see all of that history over there. I did get to see, that's another amazing fact about the churches are that they have these catacombs where they keep, like, it's like a crypt, open crypt. And that was the first time I've seen anything like that in my whole life. So I was pretty amazed. Like, we went to a church in Lima itself, and it was a ticketed place. We had to go in the underground, like there was a basement all the way. Like we had to climb down 2-3 floors to go into that particular level to see the actual open catacomb.
It's very, I know I've been into a few, and it's really scary. I think some of these graves really scares me at times.
Yeah, my friend didn't want to go because she was like little scared. So I ended up going alone with the guide and came back out quickly. It was worth it.
Yeah, it's very dingy, and it's very eerie kind of thing.
Yeah,
I think, So, Rosie, let's talk about your shopping experience. I know you're wearing one of the pieces that you collect from there.
So I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big souvenir person, right? So I try not to buy anything, but I figured that I have to do something, right? So I actually bought a Starbucks mug from Cusco, which is very special. And the second thing I bought is this T-shirt. So I didn't get a kiss from this. So I got the Llama Sutra. So I know all the tricks about llama. I thought it was a cool idea, but when I come back and I just never wear it because I was like, you know what, it's a little bit too much information for everyone.
Rosie, you're turning our travel show into an adult show now.
I know all the hot dance clubs and the salsas.
You never know who uses that information. You never know who uses.
I know.
How to classify our video. That is fun. So, did you go? I know women love window shopping. So, did you manage to do a bit of that? And because I know you went up to the mall, I'm sure you did some window shopping.
So, about shopping, what I would highly, highly recommend everybody go to the South American countries to learn some basic numbers. So you need to know the numbers in Spanish, because my experience is if you want to go to the bazaar, that most the vendors don't speak any English or very basic. But if you could understand some basic Spanish and the simple words and maybe 20 to 50 words, that would really help you. So yeah, otherwise they would jack up the price. And then I highly recommend you to use your common sense. And then I would like, for me, I go straight to half off. So I go 50% what they're asking, and then we go from there. So usually I get 30% off instead of 50% off. But because I have some Spanish skills.
But that I know my mom does it, and I'm like so embarrassed to go with her. Like every time we would be, shopping in some international country, like especially Southeast Asia, she would
Yeah,
like, she would slash it by 70%. I'm like, really?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I don't even know you. How can you do that?
yeah. That's how it is. My son is super impressed by my skills too, even in China.
So
Yeah,
I
no,
think the
even
tip is to go down 50% and then,
no,
maybe
Yeah,
that's right. No,
settle
even
some.
as a tourist, I also go and bargain. That's one of the things I've learned very early on when we had gone to Australia and all that, that you have to bargain because there is a huge markup what they offer to locals versus, of course, they know your accent is different. They know your dressing sense is different. So they know that you're a foreign tourist over there. And of course, being a touristy place, they have this whole markup just to kind of cover their bases.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Like I also bargain shamelessly, like some of those things, and that was the reason I could not buy my actual coat for a certain price I was looking for, but I had to compromise on that. So, yeah.
So I think we are coming towards the end of the thing, and I was trying to also understand from you guys, like, did you make any local friends? Like a lot of people who travel, I know you both didn't travel solo, and me being a lot solo travelers, I end up doing, making a lot of local friends as well. So did you guys end up making local friends, like, people you kept in touch with afterwards, or how was your general interaction with people around there? Like, was it a safe, comfortable environment? Did you feel uncomfortable? Like, how is it? Would you
Um,
recommend solo travelers, solo female travelers, solo men,
So
either way?
as a country, it's a safe country. Like if you,
Hmm.
because the Lima and Cusco, I wouldn't say much about Lake Titicaca because we were there very like just for a night. So we didn't venture out. We went to like a certain destination and we came back. But Lima and Cusco, I would say it's pretty safe because like, of course, a lot of world tourism, then it's a very well-known world destination. So a lot of people do travel over there. So no, I didn't make any friends, but I do have a story. So Lima, the toy shop I had gone to, she knew that we were Indians and she knew Shah Rukh Khan. She referenced, and I think I don't remember exactly. I think she referenced DDLJ or some movie. She was a local person over there. So she referenced that she knew Shah Rukh Khan from the movie. And
Interesting.
that was very interesting for me. I was like, oh wow, like in this end of the world, people know about Shah Rukh Khan. That's a big deal in itself. The other thing was the food itself. Like, of course, we tried local cuisines over there, and it was a interesting change and everything. But when we were in Cusco, because we were there for a longer bit of time, right? And so we were craving Indian food. Both me and my friend, we were like tired of eating all the avocados and all the so one of the interesting fact was about the food itself. They do have Chinese food over there. They call it chifa. That was a new thing, and they didn't have a lot of like. We were expecting them to have like how we have Mexican food. So I was thinking they'll have a lot of tortilla, a lot of like all of that stuff. They don't have that. They have Italian food, which is pizza, pastas, and then of course. Their regular Peruvian food, which is mostly corn, potatoes, and avocados and rice, and so
I
it's
think they get a lot of European tourists, so maybe part of the food is also influenced by the tourism because
it's like mostly
yeah.
to cater to the continental food groups or whatever. But we did manage to find a restaurant in Cusco, Indian restaurant. The only recommendation I'll make is even if you go and find Indian food or restaurants over there, don't eat the buffet, eat the fresh made food because we paid the price the next day.
So Rosie, how is your experience like? Did you find the environment safe? Did you get to know locals? I know you had a lovely time. It's nice.
So
But however,
regarding the food wise, I have basically having ceviche every day. So
Mhm.
it's this really incredibly tasty raw fish. They marinate it with like lemons and raw onions and some
Mhm.
corn. So in Peru, they have this huge corn that we don't get it anywhere else. It is like protected. They can only grow in Peru.
Mhm.
So that is something special in Peru. And then also I tried a guinea pig. They fry the guinea pig. That's like a
Well,
local,
like the
special.
guinea pig, right? The
Yes,
small,
yes.
small like a bird,
I,
those
I I wasn't a fan of it. It tastes kind of funny. And also they have this
like a
dish. It's
rabbit, small.
it's kind of fishy and like a weird flavor. So and then they have this drink. It's called pisco sour. That's
Mhm.
really famous. And I tried it. I wasn't a big fan, but that's like their national drink.
Mhm.
So
And
it's made out of what? What
it's
do you?
about it's like a so there's one. This drink is called the pisco.
It's an
It's more like a
extract of a
vodka.
cert. Yeah, it's a
It's
very
made with
sour.
potatoes.
Yeah,
So
it's
they
some.
add the sourness inside. So in a foamy, kind of egg white-ish foamy, and then add some sour, and then the
Mhm.
vodka taste. It's kind of off for me. But the ceviche is incredible. I love ceviche so much. It's worth trying.
Mhm.
Yeah, but friends wise, I didn't make much friends. But so I loved salsa, and then I went in this the Sunday farmers market slash the flea market on a Sunday in the middle of Lima. So I have never seen like anybody dance in the middle of the farmers market, like hundreds of people dancing salsa in wild. Because for me, the salsa experience is always in a club. So and you can see like 100 years old papa and granny start dancing salsa. It's the cutest thing ever. I love it so much.
I know. I saw that video. I wish I could have played it for everybody, but
Yeah,
we'll
it
definitely
is the
post it on
cutest.
our blog.
Yeah, if I had my salsa skill now, I would still go back and dance with them. It's just the best experience ever.
So I think you both found the country very safe. It is safe for women travelers. Is it women friendly? You can go on a solo travel trip because knowing
Yeah.
Latin America, a lot of people are hesitant, to do
No,
a
you're fine. But in Peru, the percentage of people speaking English is very low. I'm comparing to Chile because Chile is more like financially more developed, so there are more people more educated. There's more people speaking English than in Peru. So in Peru, you really need some Spanish skills.
So
Mm.
I would
Yeah,
recommend, like, the only thing I recommend, it is safe to travel, and we did face, like, the times we were on our own, that we didn't have a guide with us, like, and we did venture out. So we were using a lot of Google Translator to,
yeah,
communicate
yeah,
whatever we were trying to do. Like, I had to go and buy something from a medical store. So I use my Google Translator to kind of tell them what I'm
yeah.
looking for.
That's
It
useful.
helped. Yeah, it helped.
Yeah, I use that too.
Yeah.
Okay,
Definitely.
interesting. So people with technology, I think we still have a way around.
Yeah, and it's pretty safe. Some of these things, they understand there is a language barrier, but of course they try to accommodate as much as they can. And of course, and with the language and technology, it's not as difficult as it used to be before.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
think
it's
we're
true.
almost towards the end of our show. So I do want to ask you, where are you guys heading next? I know we are all under lockdown and we are all dreaming our vacations and we are wishing, waiting. I go check out flights, I check out places when they're opening up, what is happening, which country is letting us in. So I keep doing that research myself and I'm sure everybody's doing that. But what is next on your list? Like Rosie, what's next on your list?
Window traveling. So I actually plan to go to South Africa in Christmas this year, but it's just gonna be another plan.
You never know,
Yeah,
it might materialize, but yeah, I know situations
right.
are tough right now.
I bet the tickets will be booked out the second it's open, right?
I
Throughout like five
everybody would
years.
be like,
Yeah, we will
Yeah.
not even get
it's
in.
like opening the gates out and people are
Yeah,
jumping out.
yeah. People are crying. People are like, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Of
Manny,
course.
what's on your radar?
So it was already planned. We were supposed to go for Eastern Mediterranean and 10-day Italy trip. Like I had already paid my deposit for the Eastern Mediterranean cruise. So we had planned, like me and my friend and a couple of other girls had planned that we'll do like Italy first, and then we'll end the trip. We'll take a flight from Florence to go to Athens and see a couple of days, and then take the cruise from Athens to Athens and come back. So altogether it was like going to be a 20-day trip.
Wow.
And of course,
So sad.
I think we were planning this first week of March, the whole Italy part of it, and then the Italy shut down, I think the first week of March, and then we ended up canceling that. And of course, once we canceled that, then we ended up canceling our cruise also because there was no point, doing that. So yeah.
So they gave you your refunds back during this
Yeah.
time?
Yeah, we had because it was supposed to be in August. So we had paid our deposits, and we had to pay the full payment before we travel, like 30 days before we travel. So that there was a partial payment of what we had paid to book the whole cabin and all that. So we got that one back.
Interesting.
So hopefully next year.
Yeah, I know. I hope everybody has a plan, and I think it was great having both of you. There was a lot of interesting information. I see a lot of comments where people have loved your information that you've shared, and they're waiting, very eagerly for the blog to come through as well, so that we can post. So I think for people who will view this later or still viewing it, we just want to, inform people that we will not just leave it as a travel talk show, because a lot of these information will get lost. And we have interesting pictures. We've collected interesting stuff around this show. We would like to post it through a blog page, and we are going to create one for each of the episodes that we host. And we would encourage our guests to write if they have time. If they don't have time, we'll more than happy to help them out. So we have, 3 people who are kind of organizing. So you will see us on rotations. Rosie would be one of them. And I have Vijay and then myself. So, it'll be interesting, and you would see a lot of tidbits coming up on the blog, which will give you more, information which are more tactical, do's and don'ts. You will have details of travel agents. Like Manny used a travel agent, Rosie didn't. So she pre-booked some stuff. Some of it she might have, gone there and figured out. So there are different ways of doing it, and it'll be there.
One thing I want to add is like the Peru, the South America travel, if they use those, if you go for the more economy airlines, they are not really on time. So you need to have the strong, willpower to get to the next destination. Sometimes they have very long delays, and you just need to have a plan B.
Yep.
Yeah.
So plan B is either cancel your booking or don't pre-book too much, but book enough.
Yeah.
And I think one last question I didn't ask you guys. Did you all stay in hotels? I know she went through a travel, so it will be all hotels for Manny. But for you, was it hotels, or did you test out Airbnbs and homestays and stuff like that?
No, we did all hotels. We did all like the what is it, the Hiltons. It's really, really nice. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I think we had a lovely time talking to both of you. I'm sure people who were watching it also had a lovely time. And thank you so much for both of you. And Manny and Rosie, hope to see you on another adventure.
Yeah.
It
Thank
was
you for having us.
really fun. Bye-bye and have a good evening, guys.
You too. Thanks, Nila.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye, me.